The shift in the Pacific westerlies has officially launched what scientists are calling the 2026 Super El Niño. This isn't just a seasonal change, it is a violent atmospheric burst that has already birthed a rare triplet of tropical cyclones, Super Typhoon Sinlaku in the north and cyclones Mela and Vaianu in the south. Because the planet's baseline temperature is already at record highs, this event is starting from a much hotter position than the famous high-intensity events of 1997 or 2015, making it almost certain that 2027 will become the hottest year ever recorded. As this heat moves across the ocean, it acts like a global engine that rewires the jet stream. For the southern United States and South America, this typically means a winter of relentless rain and flooding. On the flip side, regions like Australia, Indonesia, and the Amazon are bracing for an intense drought, creating prime conditions for massive wildfires. The stakes are also high for the Indian monsoon. If El Niño chokes off the rain there, it could threaten food security for over 1 billion people. For Europe, the forecast is much more complex and harder to pin down compared to the direct impacts seen in Australia or East Asia. While the Pacific is thousands of miles away, an emerging trend for strong El Niño years suggests a divided winter, a stormy and mild start followed by a colder end. November and December often see wetter, milder conditions driven by Atlantic winds, while January and February can transition into sharper, drier cold spells as the atmospheric response matures. However, because this super event is a recently observed phenomenon in our current warmed climate, the data isn't yet sufficient to guarantee this outcome, and local factors like the North Atlantic Oscillation often act as unpredictable variables that can override El Niño's influence entirely. Economically, this event acts as an inflation driver. Major crops like rice, sugar, and cocoa are highly vulnerable to these weather swings, which could drive up grocery prices worldwide. Beneath the waves, the warming water prevents nutrients from rising to the surface, which can cause fisheries to collapse and trigger the worst mass coral bleaching event in history. We are essentially witnessing a climate shift where the ocean and atmosphere are recalibrating to a much hotter reality. The only silver lining is that our technology in 2026 is better than ever. We were able to track the April wind burst in real time, giving governments a chance to stockpile food and reinforce dams. However, even with the best warnings, the sheer power of a super El Niño in a warming world will test the limits of how much heat our global systems can actually handle. We will continue to monitor the growing El Niño event and see how it impacts the planet over the coming few years. Be sure to subscribe for tropical updates throughout the year.